Yeah, you can. As I was saying, you can bait him out, but there's gonna be another cutscene after this, so it's a lot easier on the original because uh, it's quicker for him to hit.
That Ripto has caused enough damage. All his meddling has cost me a fortune. If it wasn't for Spyro, I'd be bankrupt. Oh, if Ripto were here, I'd give him a piece of my mind. In fact, I'd give him a lot more than that. I was a champion bantamweight boxer at university, and I still know a few moves. Take that, and that. Why, you...
Okay, that time I feel bad. That's the only time I feel bad for him. No, I mean he's a good old guy. I mean, he just takes all my money and then you get him. You'll get him. Not really a spoiler, considering you need all the gems to clear the game anyway. Yeah. Actually, what am I doing? Don't need to go and collect all the gems here. So yeah, he's down here.
Well, well. I bet a rich dragon like you wouldn't mind cashing in a few gems to learn how to climb. I'd be willing to teach you for, say, I don't know, a small fee.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
You won't regret it. Okay, when you see a wall surface that looks climbable, like the one to my left here, just jump onto it and you will grab it with your claws. Use the left stick to move up and down. Press the jump button again to leap off. You can also jump sideways onto another climbable area.
Yeah, it's a good idea to come get the ladder move anyway, because there's a few levels in this world that you need the ladder. Actually, I think there's only one, maybe? Yeah, that one there, which is Zephyr. You do need, to clear it, you do need a ladder, so it's always best practice to go get that first, before you do any of the levels. Yeah. Yeah, you can return to Summer Forest anytime. See, I need that orb. So I'm gonna go grab that, and then go to Glimmer, and then I'll go to Sunny Beach last, and I'll show you the minigame. People think it's really difficult. I don't think so myself. I can see why people would think that. But I'll point it out. I'll show you what I mean. Why people think it's difficult. As I've been saying, if you haven't played this game, you really should. Because everyone should play this game because it is a good game. Well, it's a great series, like the original 3. Hero's Tale's okay. If you want anything else, there's not really anything else. Avoid. You've probably heard this before. Avoid into the Dragonfly like the plague because. Yeah, it's just a bloody mess. I've never played it. Oh, I lied there. I have played a little bit of it, not like actually played it. Like I've played a section. I think it was like a zipline section or something. Yeah, I was trying to finish it, complete that bit, and she apparently didn't know that the game is just broken. Like you can 100% it, but you basically need to sacrifice a newborn on the. Yeah. Oh wait. Oh shit. See, this is why it's a problem. Because you do need a power up. You do need to go back and kill enemies. I'm just gonna go through and clear all these guys out. I'm pretty sure I can get them. Don't know how many I need. But I know I can kill all these guys, and there's a couple more inside that I can kill. I hope that's enough, because I don't want to have to go any further. How many do I need? 10. How many have I got? Hold on a sec. 9. 10. Alright, plenty. Okay. Now that I can climb, I'm trying to avoid him. Yep. There we go. Alright. Yeah, whatever. Should be all of them, right? Where's the gems? There's a gem. Oh, that was a gem, I think. Yeah, it was. But it was part of the scenery. I was thinking of the original colours, not the new ones. Oh yes. That's a problem because if you do the level and they, yeah, I don't remember if you can actually lose the thing on this. I can't remember in the original if it ran it, if like the gems could unlight, but I'm pretty sure they could, unless that wasn't bug.
Here, somebody makes.
Because I distinctly remembering that happening. I don't think I've had it happen in this game, but on the original. It might just have been about a bug because I did the, I originally cheated on this. Oh shit, where's the last one? Okay, I know that's pretty sure. Okay, it's not there, it's on the other side. Yeah. Where is it? What? Okay, hold on. No! Okay, guess we'll get to see the ending cutscene then. That's the gem I need. I do enjoy the cutscenes in this game. Yeah, as I've said before, I do like the original cutscenes a lot more. Like, the new cutscenes are very pretty, and they are very funny. Some of them are in the original are a lot funnier. I can't even remember the original of that one because I glitch that level out every time I play it. Sometimes I didn't even watch the cutscene because I've watched the sometimes I just skip them altogether because I've watched them about 1,000,000 times, but I don't really remember watching that one. But as you can see, there's no starting cutscene to Glimmer. It is literally the start of the game. Is the starting cutscene, and the ending cutscene is there. It just doesn't trigger until you visit it a second time. I do need to go get that last gem in there. Because if I don't get that gem, I'm just going to lose my mind. Oh, it's something the thing, isn't it? Just gonna grab it. If I need it, I'll grab every enemy just in case. Because I don't know if I'll need it. Yeah, go away. Leave me alone. Yeah. But yeah, the problem with these, the Reignited Trilogy, is you can clearly miss gems, but you cannot see that. in the originals you see the glint, but in this one, um, like, I don't mean it's not a fault or anything. It's just it's very, very, very easy to miss gems because they'll be hidden by grass. I think the problem is because of it's just yeah, the textures. They block out view, block out light. I mean, yeah, it's not a problem. It's just it does make looking for gems and all, and I do not enjoy that. Ooh. That was weird. 59 frames for a second. I still can't believe. Yeah, I know I'm probably cursing myself now. Streaming for almost 13 hours. Only 94 frames are dropped. Yeah, now that I've said that, I'm just gonna drop all the frames. Alright, well, I suppose now we go... we're gonna do, Courtyard. And then we'll do Sunny Beach, and then we'll go do, and then we'll go do Autumn Plains. Just because... I actually don't know if I'll be able to go get all through the games today. I'll try. I better talk to her because she'll just tell me, yeah, it's an orb, go get it. You know how to climb now. Yeah, a lot of the lines are just... yeah, I don't mind them. There was the same in the original, it's just, the most annoying thing is that you'll, what am I missing? I'm missing another one gem. Where is it? Is it up here? Did I miss one up here? No? Where is it? Oh, come on, Spyro. I hate when he disappears, because he'll just point... he'll just float through a wall. Oh, that's not the parts. Is it? So, and he doesn't even point in the right direction, he'll point you somewhere, and then you follow him, and you don't know where he's pointing. So he'll point up and up. No.
Okay.
Oh no. Shit. Did he leave that as? I think I had it on inactive anyway, so that doesn't really bother me. I think I did. Problem. I bet it's down here. Because he'll point somewhere, and then you'll think, oh yeah, go that way. Oh, it's actually down here, is it? Down here? Yeah, you point in the general direction, and then he'll point up. So you're like, oh, upstairs. And then he'll point down, and you're like, oh, okay, so we gotta go around again. I know it's just, it's not meant to be a, what do you call it? He's just meant to point you in the general direction, but I'd wish he'd point you, not through a wall if you can't go straight past. I'd say point in the general direction, but at least point in the way of the door, but, it's not that big a deal. It was never really designed for these two games. It was meant for Year of the Dragon because that actually had the, I believe that had the actual modeling path for it, or the actual path for Sparks to track. So he was actually semi-decent in tracking gems in that one because he wouldn't just point, he'd point in a direction, but because the way the levels were laid out, you know basically where it is. These ones were never meant that way, these were a lot more mazy. Spyro 1 and Spyro 3 actually share a very similar thing, they're a lot more straightforward in the level design. Spyro 2 changed that, there was a lot more corridors and running through, but Spyro 3 went back to the original Spyro 1 because they had, instead of having Spyro go through corridors a lot, well, I suppose it's not really a spoiler, you play as different characters, and they got different things like Sheila, she's a like pure platformer. Then there's okay, what's everything here? Yeah. Sergeant Bird, he's aerial combat and um, aerial combat third person shooter. Agent 9 first person shooter and on rail shooter in one I think it's one case. He's also third person as well, so he does have first person mode. But his is like lots strafing. I can't remember in this one if he actually had a I believe he actually had a instead of just strafes as his only actions, he could actually move around freely properly. In the originals of Year of the Dragon, he did not. He wasn't. He was probably one of the worst characters to control because his levels were very, very, very difficult. Especially considering there was no right control. Like there was the DualShock, but they had to make the games for the regular controller as well because it wasn't until the PS2 that DualShock, the PS2 and the Xbox that twin stick controllers became very popularized, and that's what caused every first-person shooter to. That's why Xbox and PlayStation, well, mostly Xbox, was very popular with first-person shooter controllers of the twin stick controllers, and because instead of using a D-pad to move and the thumbstick and using an alternate control method, you'd be using twin sticks instead. And using the twin sticks was a really innovative design because it changed the way games are. You can see games today, everyone follows that design. Even I mean, sure, after like a while. I mean, I believe Nintendo, the GameCube did have twin stick control. I can't remember. I never owned the GameCube. I think they had one, and then they went away from it for a little while, and they went back to D-pad and one stick, like the Nintendo 64 with the Wii. But they I can't remember. Did the Wii U have twin stick? I can't remember. But that I'm really trying to think. I'd have to go look at a Wii U to look. Well, let's just say it didn't. Someone will remind me, and I'll remind myself. I'll correct myself later. But Nintendo, even the Switch came back with the twin sticks because it proved to be really useful. Not just in shooters, but every type of game. Back in the day, this was just I can't remember what buttons it were. I think it might have been the R2 and L2, or it might have been the R1 and L1. I can't remember because it's actually been that so long. I think it actually might be both on the Spyro 2 and 3 originals. The original Spyro, either the R1 for the first set of buttons or the second set of bumpers. Either one of those would be your camera controls on Spyro. But the problem with that is you only got left and right pan, you didn't get up and down tilt. So you only got the pan, you didn't get up and down. You got left and right, and that's it. And now that you can do this, you can see how much how Spyro just hovers above the ground there. You can see where the modeling work came from. You can't really tell from the distance that he's standing there, but yeah, I think it really needs a patch. It's not a big deal. Like from here, you can't tell, but if you're looking down, you can see he just floats. I don't know if it's just here that he does it. I'll go up here and have a look. I don't know if it's a thing. Yeah, it's just a universal thing. He's just stuck here. Yeah, he just floats. I've never noticed that. I don't know if it's been a thing the whole time that I just haven't realized, or if it's just this level, or if it's just these platforms here.
Hello, young one. There's a chef up at the top of this ladder who wants to make soup out of our turtles. Maybe you could climb up there and stop him?
Yeah. Let's just talk to this guy.
Your turtle friends will make a very good soup if I can catch them. You can try to save them if you like, but I'm feeling awfully hungry.
Alright, so the trick to this one is you don't need to ram the turtles straight away. You can just flame them to get away from the pot and then just ram them. You just gotta charge into them. Most people think you can only flame them, but you can actually ram into them. You can just charge into them. Yeah, the minigame starts as soon as you talk. It's actually a lot easier in this one because you have full view of the thing. The one you got to watch out for is this one because it'll come up behind. The turtles will come up behind you, and you're not paying attention. It's the closest to the bot, and they'll just jump in. And as soon as you jump in, you fail them again. Fortunately, that one's only like three turtles, I think it was.
Here, take this orb and go away.
There's a second one in the minigame. It's just a longer version. As I said, not too difficult. It can get a little bit hectic, but if you need to, you can just yeah, flame the turtles away. I think this one comes next. Yeah, but there is a pattern. If you want to memorize it. See, you can just flame them away, and then it'll be fine. And then you can just charge them. You got a few seconds. You got like 1 or 2 seconds until they come back. You can until they jump into the pot. It's fine. They can buy you some time. If you can get the right angle, you can just knock them into the thing. Don't you dare. Oh shit. Yeah. If you're not very lucky. Oh shit. Oh, that was close. It's not that hard. You just gotta keep on top of, make sure where they are. I got glitched out a bit. See, they don't immediately jump into the pot. As long as you're only like juggling 2 at a time, it's not too bad. If you get more than 3, it can get a bit hectic. So, the only problem with this one is that sometimes the hitbox, as you see there, as you saw there. Sorry, I skipped the conversation. It's just, oh, you killed all the turtles. What am I going to do without turtles? Maybe I don't need this to buy potatoes. I'm not having soup anymore. So just use the orb because you need this to buy potatoes to eat with the turtles. Yeah, it's pretty easy. You can't even jump the pot yourself. You can't even make dragon soup. Yeah, that's Sunny Beach done. So yeah, the only problem with it is that sometimes the hitboxes can be just a bit off. It's actually, as I say, in the original, as I was trying to say at first, it was actually a top-down view like this, on an angle, and you could not, I don't think you could, if I remember correctly, you could not really pan the camera at all. You could go a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, I think. Oh, wait, no, you couldn't at all, actually. If I remember correctly, someone will correct me eventually, or I'll correct myself when I play it again. But yeah, it was a lot more difficult because you could only see a certain amount of map. Like, you could see the whole thing, like, from, say, about here. Like, you can see a lot more than you can, like, this view, because you were further, the camera was further out. But I suppose the models were a lot smaller too back then. So this area was a lot smaller. Well, it seems a lot smaller. It's all the same size, it's just, actually it's a lot bigger, but, all the models have gotten bigger too, so it's like, everything's to scale, like, as it originally was. I'm gonna do a rare thing, I'm just gonna exit low, because I can't bother pushing that turtle up a hill. So Sorry, I'm just eating on the mic. Oh. Alright, so I've started streaming 8 PM last night. It is now 8 in the morning. I'm gonna keep going. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to do this one. It shouldn't take me as long as number 3 will. As long as I don't piss around like I'm doing right now. The longest part of this is probably gonna be the speedways and some of the harder challenges. But I think I can actually do... Yeah. I'm gonna go... Yeah, there's also a exit here to Autumn Plains and stuff. I'm gonna go do Autumn Plains home, and then I'm gonna go to 1, maybe 2 of the levels, and then I'm gonna take a break. I'm not gonna turn the stream off, I'm just gonna chuck it over to the